1.
This is a story about my sister and I growing up. My parents moved into our house about 6 months before I was born. When I was 4, my sister came along. It was an ideal childhood for 2 young girls, and most of our days were spent in the large oak tree on our front lawn. Then there was Sammy. Sammy was about 7 when I was born, lived next door, and had severe mental retardation. This isn't going to sound nice, but we were all a little frightened of him. He was a big kid, and very loud and strong. My parents explained why he was like that, and he was never malicious, but we just didn't understand. One thing that freaked us out was that he would often watch us as we were in the front yard. In hindsight, that was our saving grace. One summer morning, when I was 8, making my sister 4 and Sammy 15, she and I were out in the front yard as usual. We were making tents for our American Girl dolls. Lost in our work, we didn't notice the man with stringy, oily hair watching us from the sidewalk. "You little girls having fun?" he asked. We nodded silently. Stranger danger embedded thick in our skulls at that time. "What's her name?" he prodded, pointing at my doll. "Molly." "Mister, we have to go inside now." I yanked my sister up by the arm. "See you later," he replied. We ran into the house, leaving our dolls outside. The man was all but forgotten after lunch when we went back out to play, except Molly's clothes were missing. I thought stupidly that maybe a squirrel had taken them. When we heard someone clearing their throat behind us, it was the man, and he had Molly's clothes. I need those back, please," I said, to which he replied, "Come, get them." It wasn't smart to go up to him. Little sister in tow, it really wasn't. But I wanted my doll's clothes back. Of course, the second we got close, he grabbed both of us by the arm and started yanking, pulling us towards the creek that ran out on the other side of the street. My little sister was screaming. I was in shock, and I must have felt like a bag of cement. I clearly remember thinking, wow, Mommy's going to be so sad when she can't find us. A great lurch from behind threw the man off his feet, and he and my sister went down while I unsteadily held my ground, spinning to see who it was. It was Sammy, and he was fuming. He kicked the man, grazing my sister in the process. "Nope, nobody touches my girls," he stuttered, kicking the man again. The guy took off running. Sammy scooped my wailing sister up and took my hand, and walked the 2 of us back to our house, where my mother was frantically running into the lawn. Having seen the end of the encounter, the man was never found. Sammy passed away last year of a heart defect he had long suffered from. There wasn't a dry eye in town.
Number 2.
This happened to me just a couple months ago, the second weekend of November. Now, I'm a small girl, around 5'3", 100 pounds soaking wet. At the time of this story, I was having weight problems. I was extremely skinny, which makes it all the more amazing that I survived the encounter. For the most part, I have mild PTSD. Anyway, I was house sitting for some friends in a sketchy part of Sacramento. I told my boyfriend at the time to stay with me all night since they've already had a couple break-ins. We'll call him Jack. Jack and I were watching movies and having a good time when I fell asleep on the couch. I woke up a couple hours later to the door slamming and the sound of a car pulling away quickly. I was pissed. Jack was supposed to stay with me all night. I went to the front door, locked it, and went to look for the dogs, who were being mysteriously quiet. I found all 4 of them locked in the back room, scared as shit. So then I called Jack and asked him why he'd left in such a hurry, and when he'd be back, and why he'd locked the dogs in the room. He told me he had been gone for 2 hours, and he hadn't put the dogs away. Cue the panic. Someone had come into the house while I was sleeping, put the dogs in the room, and then watched me sleep. There was nothing missing from me or the house, except my hairbrush, which was sitting on the coffee table next to the couch where I was sleeping.